When traveling, I love going into cities and painting buildings and other street scenes, but I also love travel that's focused on nature. I love painting nature. Lately, I've been in British Columbia, Canada, in the beautiful community of North Vancouver, which is covered in this gorgeous temperate rainforest. And I've been spending a lot of time in the forest. I've been off YouTube for a couple months because I've been dealing with some personal issues. Basically, I went through a bad breakup, and then my living situation was turned upside down. And while dealing with all this, I just lost all desire to paint, which is weird because in the past, when I've had challenges, painting has always been my comfort and solace. But for some reason, this time was different. So, not knowing what else to do, I just went and I've been walking in the woods. And gradually, that has brought me back. By being in nature, I've had the space to just really look at things and experience beauty. It's been really healing. And eventually, I felt the return of this urge that wants to go and capture this through painting. It's been an absolutely spectacular fall. One of the things that has captivated me has been the changing colors of the leaves. So I decided to paint them. If you happen to be somewhere right now where you can get out in nature and just sketch, I highly encourage you to do it. It's not only fun, but it's good for the soul. And in this video, I'm going to do a tutorial on how you can paint fall leaves that look realistic. And to do this, I'll be using watercolors and my Uni Kurutoga mechanical pencil. So let's go back inside and get to work in my journal. Okay, so this is my Hanamule journal. I love this journal. It's a watercolor journal. I think the GSM is 270. The paper is great. It holds a lot of water. And one of the things I really love about it is the portrait orientation. So the last journals I had were landscape, which are also a lot of fun. But this one is great. Like if I want to, I can have two different things going on. Like I can have a piece like this, or I can have, a piece going like this, or I can just like use the whole thing and have a big scene here. I have the well in the middle, but it all looks great. So for this one, I'm just going to use one side here because we're just going to do one leaf. And I'm going to show you how to layer the paints so that you can get a really realistic effect. So I got a bunch of leaves when I was walking in the woods, all different sizes and stuff that I really like. So for instance, this one just broke. But this one, you can see looking at it, we've got just basically two colors. It's sort of like a New Gambogi ochre kind of mix for the yellow. And then we've got this nice rust color and some dark spots. In these leaves, I got these leaves. These are nice. These have like three main colors. You can see there's like a very lemony kind of yellow going on. And then some green, like maybe closer to like an earthy spring green. And then some dark browns for dots. So these are kind of nice. And getting these are real leaves, folks. Getting lots of soil onto my journal. I was really attracted though to these leaves, I think because I like the heart shape. So I like this one especially. I think when these leaves fall, they are a bit greener, but they've been sitting now a little while because we're a little more deeper into fall. This particular one you can still see has got some green going on in the corner here and in little spots. Mainly this is a very kind of New Gambogi yellow color in the background. And then we've got a lot of like dark umber kinds of going on in here. Lots of, spots and things. I like that. And maybe our stem is going to be different. So I think I'm going to paint, I like this one too. I think I'm going to paint this one. I like this big dark area here. And this also has some green in it. So this will be a good one for the demo. So I'm going to use this one. Okay, so here's my leaf. I'm going to use this one. And I think I'm going to use it face this way. I kind of like the way that looks on the page. So obviously we're going to do that over here. Now, I'm going to use my mechanical pencil, and this is a great mechanical pencil. This is by Uni. It's a Kuru Toga, and it's self-sharpening. So you never have to worry. You can just click it if it's getting a little low. And what you can do, like, I mean, I could just eyeball this and draw the shape onto my page, but to make this really easy, so you don't have to like use your drawing skills, you can just basically trace this. There's nothing wrong with that, you know, and it's not going to be perfect anyway, but the nice thing too is you can kind of see where the ridges are. Like, it's not a perfectly straight line, obviously. It's nature. So I'm just going to kind of go around this a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to draw the stem. And I don't need to draw the whole stem, it'll get too big. So I'm just going to kind of do it over here like that. So now I've got the basic shape. Okay, I'm going to put that here for reference. So what you want to do when you are painting this is we're going to go from light to dark. And you can see that the lightest part of this leaf is in these veins here. So we want to paint this and preserve it. And so one of the things I'm also going to draw then is I'm going to draw in these veins. Like the ones that are here, if you can see, these actually don't have this yellow color in them. They're actually like a gray. Like, it's just, you can see the lines. So I can just use the pencil and let the pencil be the color in here. I don't have to paint that in. Now down here, if I want, there is a little bit of the yellow color. I could preserve that, but I think what I'm going to do is it's about the same size as my stem here. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw this first one. I'm just going to go all the way up. And you can eyeball this by looking up at the top of your leaf. And you can see it does get narrower as you go up to the top. So I'm going to kind of let this sort of blend in there, okay? And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to draw some of these lines. And of course, it doesn't have to be exact. We're just trying to get a feel for this. And honestly, once you start painting, some of this pencil might go away. So you might have to go in and redraw over it after you paint, which is fine. Okay, so now since we're layering, we want to put the first color in. I'm going to start with a very light ochre for this color. So let me get my paintbrush. Okay. There we go. And you can see that's really, really nice light ochre. Really, really nice. And it's okay if it spills over. We're going to be layering over this. So you just want to get the basic color in there. This is really watered down, by the way. Really watered down ochre. Okay. And then I'm going to let that dry. So the next color that I'm going to put in is this sort of New Gamboge color, which I'm doing a mixture of New Gamboge and ochre. And I'm going to put this all through the rest of the leaf, but I'm not going to put it where I put the ochre. So you can see, like, here's the color. I'm just going to very carefully move around where that area is. Okay, and I want this to be a little bit darker. You can see this. So I'm going to go over it again. This time I've done another mixture, a little darker, a little more ochre in this mixture. All right, this is dry now. I think we got a pretty good match there. So the next color I'm going to add is the next darkest color, which is this green. And you can see it along the side here, up in here, all through here on little splatters. There's also some of it along these veins here. It's pretty sparingly, and you know, we don't have to add this exactly. Like we can add a little more green if you want a little more green, and it'll still look realistic. It probably was greener, this leaf, a week ago if it was on the ground. And so you can do pretty much whatever you want. I'm mixing up to kind of try and match this a little bit, a combination of sap green, spring green, and ochre to give it that sort of earthy, greeny color, but I am gonna brighten it up just a little bit. So I'm gonna start with my paintbrush and I'm gonna kind of like dot it in a little bit. And you can see, yeah, it's a little darker. And you know, if it gets too dark in places where I don't like it, then I can just take a rag here and I can just lift some of it up a little bit. Like it doesn't have to be a big deal. See there. Okay, and I'm gonna like do a little bit over here, maybe. And you could even splatter some of this in, that would work. I'm gonna take this guy off here. Oh, making a mess, that's always good. And just a little bit up here. You know, I'm gonna add a little bit in the little line here, a little here, maybe a little more watered down version of it over in here, or areas here. Okay, so the green is now dry. And I just want to say it's really important that you allow each of these layers of colors to dry before you move on to the next one. Otherwise, if you just keep like adding them before they're dry, you're just going to get a big muddy mess. Believe me, I have done that many times because I'm not patient, but just restrain yourself, go get a cup of coffee or something for 5 minutes and come back when your layer is dry and dive in again. So the next one we're going to do, you can see, is our brown. And we've got there's two colors here really. There's the lighter color, which is like a burnt sienna color. And then, I don't know if you can see it, there's the darker color, which is the umber. So I'm gonna start with the lighter brown. It's kind of rusty brown, and I'm gonna put that all through these areas. And again, don't have to be exact. I'm just gonna put it where it looks fun and feels good. And then I'm gonna mix up some darker color after that dries. And then I'm gonna put that on, and our leaf will be just about finished. And you can just pat these things on and make sure to remember you're preserving that middle. Okay, so this now, I believe, is pretty much dry, and we're gonna move on to our last color, which is the darkest color, which you can see there's like a very dark brown here over the lighter brown we've already laid down. So to get this, I'm using the same burnt sienna, and I added in some Payne's Gray. So I've mixed that up, and what you wanna do is basically splash this in around where you've already painted and let some of that lighter color shine through while you're adding in the darker color. And it even goes, you can see, along the veins here. So I'm gonna just start painting and you can watch that. It's good too, you can emphasize the lighter colors, the light color in the vein that we preserved here with this dark color and get that contrast going. More here, edge. Okay, so this looks pretty close. Now there's just one last thing I want to do. You can see on the leaf, there's these lines, there's like a dark line around the edge, but I don't want to try and paint that because it's a very thin line. It'd be really difficult to do even with the tip of my paintbrush. So I'm going to go back in with my mechanical pencil and I'm just going to draw here and just emphasize the edge of the leaf just to give it a little more definition. And this is also the time when you could go back in with your pencil and emphasize some of these veins if you want to that have been painted over, just to give it a little more definition as well. And then once this is done, we will pretty much be finished. And there is our leaf. Thank you for watching. I'm happy to say all this time in nature has gotten my head screwed back on correctly, and I'll be back every week with a new video. So go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next one.